I gave the episode a frivolous title because I can. It's my podcast, can do what I want, and just to make it fun. But this is a super deep conversation. It gets deeper and deeper as you go. So stick it out. But Shane is, such a unique artist, but really he is a deep thinker. And this conversation is really beautiful because you get to see the vision the guy has, the way he thinks, the stuff he ingests from the books that he reads to the music that he listens to. A very well formed guy. He's not here by accident. He's got a very clear idea of where he's going and how he's going to get there. Super principled, super focused. These are the qualities that stars are made. Is that a sentence? That make stars. That's the whiskey talking. So yeah, stick it out. There's lots of cool stuff. We speak about lost confidence. We speak about his childhood modeling career. We speak about big penises. We speak about independence and creating businesses. His favorite his dream collab. Um, his dad, his parents. I think this is really, if you're a big Shane Eagle fan, I hope this really beautiful chat gives you some insight into the epic Shane Eagle on What's Your Poison. I didn't press record on the video for the first 5 minutes. So if you're watching on YouTube, the first 5 minutes doesn't have a video, but then it all kicks in. If you're listening on audio, forget I said anything. It's totally fine. Rockstar.
Yo. What's happening?
Hey, how you doing, Shane?
I'm good. What's up, John? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, and I'm excited to see your beautiful face.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks for coming to chill with me on a Wednesday night.
No problem, man. I'm happy to be here with you, man.
We got to always start with the most important thing. We got to get deep quick here, and that is, what are you drinking?
Oh man, I don't really drink like that. I got some orange juice on deck though.
Oh.
Some orange juice and some water. Water makes the world go round. But I got some orange juice on me. You feel me?
That's all right. I've got some orange juice too.
Bet. What's that?
What it doesn't have to be drinking. What are your bad habits that keep you going?
Bad habits that keep me going.
What's your poison?
Let me think about it. Let me give you a real answer. But I think a bad habit that I've had for the longest was, I think before I got to this age that I'm at now, I kind of it wasn't doubt. It wasn't like, but it was a certain confidence that kicked in only at a certain age. I didn't have a certain confidence to kind of embody how other people saw me or who I knew I was. So that was kind of a weak spot, but that's kind of gone now. That I kind of work on the bad stuff. Try and filter out the bad stuff and focus more on the good.
And where do you think that comes from? I know you had a young divorce, right? Your parents divorced when you were kids. Did that have any? I'm not psychoanalyzing you here. I'm asking if your confidence is related to stuff from being younger.
Now I feel like if anything, that kind of gave me more confidence. So I wouldn't say that came from that because kids who kind of come from a place that's unsheltered, that kind of brings out more in the kid. Like usually if you check a lot of people who are kind of successful or who've made it in life, it wasn't easy for them. So I wouldn't put it on that. I think it was just like I always use the metaphor of like a lion in the cage, So I always felt like I was this lion in the cage, and as soon as those, the bars open up, then I could, attack. But for the longest, I felt like, there was something there, but maybe it was just like the natural process of being in my early 20s and that. So when I got to this point now, I feel like it's kind of, settled, and it's like the confidence is there, and I know who I am and I know what I mean to the world now,
I suppose, self-doubt is part of any artist's process. I mean, that's one of the scariest things is when you're creating something and then you can't figure out whether it's total shit or it's amazing.
Yeah, that's kind of that place, that artists do find themselves in. But as soon as you stop doubting yourself and you just, let the creative juices flow and let it come from wherever it comes from. Because I feel like when I make music, it doesn't really come from me. You know, like a lot of people will say, you know, how did you write that, or how did you think of that? Like, I've got this song on my upcoming album called Sun, and it's one of my favorite records. But I feel like it was dropped off in my lap, you know, almost from like a higher power or whoever, you know, is controlling this, you know. So that's how I know I'm more of a vessel than a musician or an artist. I'm just a vessel that, you know, gets used to push the art through. Huh?
So look, okay, that is true. Okay, and I get that because I know, like in the moment when something is coming through, you know, you got to accept it. But then there's still a crap ton of work that happens once you get this tune. That's just
Oh yeah,
the beginning of it, you know. So you got to put the work in, right?
for sure, man. Like over the last few nights, I'll tell you, I think I'll tell you this. What my poison actually is being too focused. That's actually my poison. Because here's the thing though, because you know, over the past 3 or 4 nights, I've been working, you know, heavily on my album and engineering it and making sure everything sounds cool. But I'll get into bed, you know, and kind of doze off for a few minutes, but then I'll wake right back up and go back into the studio and like carry on working until like the morning. You know, for the past 4 nights, I'll be like, okay, cool, I'm done for the night, and then I switch everything off, go to bed, and then I don't even sleep. I wake back up, go carry on shooting, you know, in the studio just to sharpen up. Because in my field, you know, when you're asleep, somebody else is working, you know, somebody else is pushing, somebody else is grinding. So I've just been, you know, staying on that, just staying focused, you know. I've got the end picture. Well, not the end, but like where I'd like to be in, you know, the next few years, but even 10 days, you know, even the next 100 days or 10 days, like I've got it mapped out.
Okay, well, there's two types of artists, right?
Yeah,
Um, there's those guys who listen to lots of other, you know, they listen to stuff and they take inspiration from everywhere. And there's other guys that when they're working on a project, they shut out everything else and they totally just like are focused on that project.
yeah.
Uh, I'm assuming you're the second breed, right?
Yeah, but I'm more of a hybrid, but none of those two in a sense, because um, what I do is I like going to the source, you know, because if you think about it, even the biggest artists or the biggest legends were a baby once, you know. So where did they learn that from? So I kind of, you know, find myself going to the source, like digging prior. So in a sense, you are right. We're not looking with what's out right now, but I like to go back and dig to everybody who came before me. You know what I mean?
You know
And
what's super interesting? You know who Rick Rubin is?
of course, I love
Yeah,
Rick.
yeah. Yeah, and interestingly, that's one of the one things I always remember was that, you know, the hilarious and legendary story of Metallica losing their way. I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary Some Kind of Monster.
No, I haven't. I need to check it out though.
It's one of it's actually weirdly it's one of my favorite documentaries just come out, I think, on Netflix. It's unbelievable. So it's about the band Metallica who like blew up as one of, you couldn't get bigger, right? And at
Yeah,
some point they were insane. Like they weren't speaking to each other. They each had entourages. They each had their own private jet. They
crazy.
each, like, they just lost the thing, you know, and they were all in their own universes. They all hated each other, and the band was splitting up. So they went to therapy,
Right.
and the documentary is about their therapy sessions. And you know,
Uh,
when those guys have multi-billion-dollar tantrums, you
yeah.
know, it's crazy. Anyway, the real reason I was going to tell you that is that their return to form was working with Rick Rubin, and Rick
Ooh.
Rubin said, "Right, dudes, like I'm cutting you off from all of that shit, and what you're going to
Yeah.
do is listen to the music
Mm,
that you listened to when you started the band."
mm.
And they'd
Wow.
forgot, you know, they went back and listened to all the stuff that had influenced them when they started, and that was like the complete resurrection of this
Yeah.
lost artist.
Now that makes sense, because sometimes to go forward, you need to go backwards. You know, like you have to do that. I have, you know, some things in place to make sure that I don't lose, you know, lose, you know, a feel of what got me here in the first place. You know, because, you know, as an artist, they give you everything to build yourself up, but they also give you everything to destroy yourself at the same
Mm.
time. You kind of just need to choose which you wanna fold on. So like with me for my mixes, for instance, like I've still got the original Ford that I had back in the day that I still test like my mixes on, because before I had the car I have now, I had that and I used to listen to my mixes in there. So I still have that feel. I still know where to
Mm.
go. I still know what's a reference to let me know if I've lost it or not. You know what I mean? So that's
Mm.
important for artists, because a lot of artists just get, you know, tossed into fame. They get tossed into money and everything, and they just lose the original essence of how they got here. You know?
Mm. Well, I mean, this is partly why I didn't prepare any questions for this, but I wanted to say that the reason I was dying to talk to you is because, and you're kind of answering it now. The things, the interesting qualities about for me about your music is one, soulful, like it's super soulful,
Yeah.
and often I feel like you are not referencing but homaging like yesteryear artists. It's like it's
Hmm.
not retro, but like you seem to have a very large awareness of all types of music, and even though you're completely you, I always hear like heritage in what you're doing. It's so interesting. I don't know any other artists who do that.
Yeah. Nah. That's a good observation, because I think I usually get that. I would say because of my mom, you know, because the stuff, the style of music she likes, you know, is very, you know, the soulful stuff, you know. So when I'm driving in the car, I can't be listening to, you know, I might have my stuff that I might listen to when I'm driving to the store or driving
Mm.
to, you know, my boy spot. But when I'm with my mom, you know, I play a lot of jazzy stuff, you know. So even the, you know, last night when I got off the phone with her, I told her I was planning my upcoming single, you know, and she was like, "Oh, is it the jazzy one? You know, it's the one that has the jazz chords in it." So she resonates to that, and
That's cool.
you know, so if as long as I can keep, you know, the people who instilled the soul in me, if I can keep them happy with mixing it with, you know, the drums that I like, or, you know, whichever keys or whichever synths we want to add in after, that's cool. But I still need to keep the essence of why I'm here, you know.
What do you what is your home music? I mean, because often some of your stuff's almost like poetry. It's not even rap. It's like poetry. So I'm
I appreciate
interested in
that.
what is the stuff you go to find to find yourself.
Hmm. I mean, it's a lot, you know. There's a lot of stuff, but you know, I've been listening to the Temptations a lot, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
listening to the Temptations. I've been listening to Frank Sinatra more than anything. You know, "Fly Me to the Moon" is one of my
Dude,
favorite records.
that guy's voice, I mean, weirdly, this actually came up in a recent episode, but Frank
Frank Sinatra,
Sinatra is so
like,
interesting because when we were a kid, you thought he was an old crooner, but when you grow up, you start going like, "Holy, this dude is the hippest." His vocal deliveries are perfection. Like it's so
man, I
hip,
mean,
you know?
you're lucky to see it if you were in that time. But for me, I think Sinatra was way before my time. So it just shows that, you know, timeless music will find you beyond that frequency, even if you don't get you or not, you know. But I mean, I even have a song on my album that was a tribute to him and a tribute to my grandfather. The song's called "To Be Frank." And you know, my grandfather's name was Frank, and you know, it was also like I've been listening to a lot of Sinatra. So yeah,
Wow.
obviously, you know, obviously Marley. I love Marley. I like Bob Marley's like one of, you know, timeless, man. Like for me, it was just, you know, his way on how he dealt with everything. You know what I mean? Like I said before, like even the biggest legends were babies once. So you need to go retract and find the source. You know,
Hmm.
and for a lot of the kids who come up after me, I'll be the source for them. You know, I'll be a reference for them. So it's kind of a cycle of frequency. You know.
What about James Brown anywhere in that pot?
Oh, for sure. James
He's
Brown,
my man, that guy. I
man,
mean,
James Brown is
everything.
a
He got it
legend.
all. But I
Now,
mean, isn't it those guys would do like 3, 4 shows a day? No one, that's partly
that's
why they
crazy.
would.
I even heard a crazy story about the Beatles, like when they were on tour, like they were on tour for like too long, and they even had to sleep for, I think they slept for like 10 days or like 2, 3 weeks straight after a tour. You know, those guys are knocking it back to back. But you know, those are the inspirations, and you know, hopefully, I'll be an inspiration to kids who want to choose a different path or make your own path, because that's what I didn't really fall into a blueprint. I just got inspired and seen I was unique, and then just followed that. You know.
So I'm interested in this as well. Like the way you approach everything from your albums to your projects to your career.
Yeah.
You're definitely zagging your own path. You've got some sort of true north that you seem to be following.
Yeah.
I mean, this industry is crazy. I mean, I also like you kind of referenced it just now, but even like in Cutting Corners, you referenced this idea that in South Africa, you know, you're famous but you're not, or you're seen as rich but you don't have money, and you've got to
Mhm.
play all these sides at the same time, and you have to find
Mhm.
your own path in the middle to sort of
Sure.
follow, you know, create
Mhm.
your mythology, but also
Yeah.
like pay the bills.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you know, I'm telling my true life story. So at that time, I could only speak about, you know, what it was like around me, because it's like, you know, as you know, an artist from the outside, people is like, oh, you know, he's on TV, he's doing this, so they just assume that everything is like, you know, you Bill Gates at the crib, but you know, it's a little bit different to that in reality, you know. So I had to navigate my way through that and set myself up in a place where you know what the life I wanted for myself could be real, you know, because if you just get caught into the quick fame thing and the quick 15 minutes, you know, everything can go down the drain from there. But for me, it was just about harnessing what was important, you know, rather than what people think might be important for me, you know. For me, being what was important or what is important now is, you know, is just being happy in a sense, you know, being happy with what you put out, what you create, you know, every day. For me, every day is a blessing, you know. If I can hear those birds chirp in the morning and be able to, you know, cut another classic on my PC, then I'm cool, you know. So it just depends on how you see it, you know.
But are you a good businessman? I mean, you're obviously super smart at your career stuff. So it's one thing to say, I just want to be happy, but that's only the
Yeah,
tip of the
no,
iceberg. You got to build an empire around that.
so I mean, for me, I set myself apart from a lot of other musicians at first, you know, because I've never been signed to a record label other than my own. I'm signed to my own record label, you know. So founding my company early on and starting my own record label, that was the route for me, you know. Before it was seen as the way to go, I had already seen it, you know, that you know, you should kind of set yourself up in a way that you know is viable for the future. Because if you look at record companies now, I mean, we live in 2021. Like the a record company is
What does it mean? What does it mean to be a record company in 2021?
exactly, you know. So I seen that coming. So for me, it was just about taking control. For me, what it is just taking control of your art. Because as an artist, you kind of have to be careful, because when you are able to create, a lot of people thrive off, you know, taking advantage of that or trying to use that for their own benefit. So I think, you know, in future, all artists will get to a place where they realize, you know, they just need to protect themselves and protect the art, you know. Because I mean, what we put into this music thing, you know, the hours, the sweat, the blood, the tears, the emotion that goes into it for somebody to just, you know, take a crazy percentage of that and try and, you know, pull the wool over your eyes, is that's a lot, you know. So artists just need to take control of what they're doing, and we're figuring it out even more, because as I'm getting closer to releasing my new album, you know, I was just looking at the percentage from DSPs. So your, you know, your Spotify, your Apple Music, your Amazon Music, what an
They're
artist gets.
small already.
Yeah, they're small already, but what an artist gets revenue wise from a stream, you know, that's half a penny, that's 6 cents. That's in US, or in rands that would be probably less per stream, you know. So you need to kind of find new ways to create your own cryptocurrency, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And keep the source, you know. So like for me, my fans are my source. So if I can just connect directly to my fans without a lot of the traffic, then that looks like the future for me.
How have you I know a lot of it's still under wraps, but how have you so skillfully um, started setting your feet into the US and the global market?
I think that happened organically, you know. I mean, I feel like a lot of the American people didn't think we had MTV over here, you know what I mean? Or like we had access to hip hop. So, but from a connecting point, I don't think it's anything you can force because American people are, you can't teach them about what's theirs. You know, you can't teach them about hip hop because you know a lot of people believe it came from there. But Quincy Jones said something different. You know, he believes hip hop comes from here. So for me, it was an organic process. Putting
You you
myself.
know that you know that Quincy Jones and Kiefer Semenya are like besties. Do you know
Oh,
that?
that's super cool. I mean,
Yeah.
Quincy, and you know, he connected with so many people, which is unbelievable. Also, another one of my inspirations. But
Mm.
connecting with the U.S. artists, I think it was just a like-minded thing. It wasn't that they were from the U.S. It's just that if you were on that frequency, it was bound to happen. So blessed to be able to work with Boss and Lutz and all the Dreamville guys and collaborate, and even on my new album, I've got some cool features I'm excited about. But I think it just happened naturally. I think how I linked up with how I went on the Dreamville tour was I had opened for J. Cole when he came down to SA, and then
Mm.
the same promoters who brought Boss down to South Africa introduced us, and when we kicked it, like that's like my brother. So he met me, and I toured with him in South Africa, and then he was like, "Yo, you should come with us to Europe, man. You should just come tour with us in Europe and build your fan base." And it just happened like that.
Super cool. And just give us a quick just relate that to your single now that's just come out.
Yeah, so um, that one is crazy because Monte, he's one of my favorite producers. He's like unmatched right now. So Monte Booker, and then Red Veil, I found just organically his music is, he's younger than you know a lot of rappers out, but he went back and digged and found crazy samples that I found. So his frequency is crazy. So for that to come together is literally a dream come true. People will see it, unfold. Monte Booker is producing for the greats, so for him to be able to bless my album, I'm humbled to be able to put something out like that at this stage of the game. Like nobody's working, on a frequency like that. So it's super epic.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Um, this is gonna be a really weird question. I'm gonna figure out how to say it without offending you. You seem like such a switched on dude, right?
Mm.
And I know we're working behind the scenes on some quiet things, which by the way, I have to update you on good things, good things.
Yeah, that's fine.
Uh,
That's fine.
um, you seem very focused, very committed in everything you do. You don't seem to be someone who does anything uh kind of I don't know, you just seem quite in control of what you're doing. And I want to know your big, I mean, I know it's old hat now, but your big penis scandal, right? You,
Yeah, yeah.
what? I can't understand how that fits into your career. Like, what was the thinking behind it, or was it just like some
That's the
mad
thing.
shit?
That's the thing. It doesn't fit into the career. Just doesn't fit.
What? Come on, don't leave me out hanging dry. Give me some context there.
I mean, it just doesn't fit because that's how big it is.
Okay, I sorry, I didn't. I even missed the joke, bro.
Yeah, I went over the top there, bro.
You yes, you gave it to me 3 times before even penny dropped, bro.
Yeah, man. Nah, that's just embracing greatness, John. That's all it is, man.
I love it, man. I love it. But okay, I love it and I accept it. But I just want to know, whether it's a bit of fun or it's part of the plan? Was it a move? Was it
I
just
mean,
something that happened?
it was just
Give it to me
organic, you
straight.
know. It's that organic growth. That's what it is, you know.
Oh, jeez, you got all the
Yeah,
jokes, bro.
so apparently, men can still grow until they, about 25. So, I mean, you got to embrace the growth there, John. That's what it is, you know.
And
And,
then,
and also, it's like, women, they express themselves all the time. So when a man does it, it should be seen as equal, you know. And it did win me some brownie points with my girl. So, you know.
good job. Was it just focused on one thing?
I mean, there was really no like thought into it. It was just I didn't think it was gonna go that crazy. Honestly, it was just like, yeah, I'm
Mm.
chilling with some, NBA Johns. They see how far it goes.
I suppose this is this is not like intended to be the next logical question, but can you tell me about your parents, your dad and your mom?
Yeah.
What are
Well,
they like, and how are you like them,
um,
other than penis size?
yeah. Nah. I'm a lot like both, but also very different to them. You know, I feel like my mom, she's always been supportive of what I wanted to do. You know, I could have been doing anything, and I feel like she would have supported it. You know, she always told me she didn't know exactly what I was gonna be. You know, a athlete or a musician or entertainer, but whatever I was gonna do, I was gonna be successful at it. So like I just that nurturing of seeing the talent in me and not shying away from it. But my father was very different because he wanted me to study straight off the high school, and he don't want to really hear about rap music. You know what I mean? Like he just wanted somebody to help him, run what he had built and so forth. So, but when he had seen it, kind of take off, because I told him, after school, if you give me a gap year and I make something happen in that year, then I'll take the career seriously. But if it fails, then I'll go study, and luckily for me, kind of popped off. So, you know, but other than that, they've always been, very supportive and instilled a lot in me. It's a very, the older I get, the more I realize how unique, my situation is, because it's just very different to a lot of other kids' parents, if I must say. Just the whole situation was different for me.
And what was weirdly, I've met a lot of amazing artists who come out of Kempton Park, who kind of fight their way through Kempton Park,
Yeah, the East
and
Side.
yeah, what's Kempton Park like?
I mean, I only spent a few years in Kempton, but Kempton is different to the north of Johannesburg. I feel like a lot of there's a lot of creative artists in Kempton, and maybe it's because it's close to the airport. Maybe they feel like, yo, we need to step our game up and fly out of here. But the East, it has its perks. You know what I mean? But I moved around a lot. I never stayed in one place a lot. I also moved schools a lot. I also moved,
How
places a
come?
lot. I think my dad, he was always moving, so I stayed with my dad because he was able to take care of me a lot. He was able to put me in a better school, and he was making a lot more money than my mom was. So she just decided you should kick it with him, and thankful for that. Stuff turned out better for me, but he was always on the move. So I
What
think
did
it's
he
because
do that made him moving all the time?
well, so he was one of the first people to bring in LPG gas from Sweden into South Africa before a lot of people were selling liquid gas propane. You know what you use for your gas heaters and
Mm.
the 9 kgs or the 18 or the nines and the 48s. So he also converted a lot of cars to gas instead of fuel, but early on, like when gas wasn't a thing. So he was in the business space, and he was always
Was he not?
moving.
He was an entrepreneur. He had his own
Yeah, yeah,
businesses.
yeah, yeah.
And did he go from business to business, or was that his business?
Now that was his business, but I've seen him, a true entrepreneur is somebody who could do it over and over again, because business, it has its highs and it has its lows. But the fact that he was, I seen him, get up and make a lot of money, and then I seen him, on the ground and with nobody around him, and I seen him build it up again. So that taught me a lot. That's why I took control of, starting my own business and starting my
That's in
own.
your DNA.
It's in the DNA, exactly. So
Hmm.
those things go a long way. Those will be with me forever. So I try and fuse everything they taught me into what I need to do. So he's definitely the business foundation, and then my mom would definitely be the nurturing foundation of, you can do whatever you want. You'll be successful at it. Crazy story. I was actually, she showed me baby pictures, of me. I was already on front cover, John, as a baby. I was on magazines as a kid, so she was just nurturing me and making sure that, I could deliver the seed, to the rest of the world. So shout
You
out
were
to her.
born to do it, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And what
sir.
about you? You got any? I mean, how hard is it to have a stable relationship and be in this business?
Well, for me, it's not that hard,
Huh.
Although, temptation is everywhere. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, as much as they give you the tools to build yourself up, they also give you the tools to destroy yourself. You know what I mean? And I feel like as soon as you're able to see what is real and what isn't, John Lennon said that everything is clearer when you're in love. And if you stay in that, then you're able to see, the fakers from the real ones, because I'm only interested in if you're going to help me build. You know what I mean? I'm not here for the here today and gone tomorrow. I'm here for, if we can build something, for the future. I'm only satisfied when I strategize my kids' future. That's what Kendrick said. So it's like that's the frequency, John, right there. It's not that hard, man.
Do you like you got a? Do you read a lot? I mean, you've got all these like brilliant quotes all top of mind.
Yeah, I'm reading. I do read a lot, but I haven't been reading as much because I've been focused on the project. But I do study the laws of the universe, so that will count as reading the 17 keys to success. If you heard about them.
No, so when you say the laws of the universe, you're not talking about the physical universe. You're talking about. Are you talking about? Okay, no. Explain this to me.
Well, yeah, no, the laws of the universe. Well, I'll rephrase. I'll say that 17 keys from Napoleon Hill. If you study the 17 keys, then you're destined for success. So,
Lay them on me, baby.
well, 17 of them would be a lot, but I'll tell you my
Give me
favorite
three.
one. Um, So one would be the law of gender. The fact that, yin and yang. So if you can find a person who you match with, you're able to build something iconic. That's the one.
Well, you
Or
don't mean match. If in the is the yin and yang means you need your
it's just the
you
law
need
of
your
gender.
opposite.
Yeah, yeah. You need your opposite. Yeah, you need
Yeah.
your opposite. Um, my favorite one. I've actually got them jotted down. I'll tell you my favorite one. I don't want to misquote the greatest Napoleon, but I actually wrote them down in my journal.
Hey, yo, there's an album concept in there somewhere. Just you can.
I'll tell you now, just my favorite ones. Um, I got them right here. I just need to share them to you because Napoleon says you have to spread them. So the main one is the mastermind principle. That would be another one. And the other one would be definite of purpose, or definitives of purpose. So that's actually my favorite one. It's like you have to write down what you want from the universe, and then you have to at the same time write down what you're willing to put in to get it. So yeah, that's kind of, if you write it down, it's real. Like, how do you get thoughts from up here into reality? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what a lot of people ask me, in my DMs and when they see me at shows, is like how to kind of manifest stuff. So, just write it down with a pencil on a real paper and watch it become real.
That is true. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of. Everyone has great ideas, but it's
Hmm.
actually it's that next thing that people struggle with. Whether
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like taking
exactly.
one step in that direction. Because once you're
Now,
taking one, the rest are easy. But taking that first one is
yeah, that's more difficult. You know what I mean? But I know because your talent and your purpose are two different things. So a lot of people get confused between talent and purpose. You know, you're supposed to use your talent to find your purpose. You know,
hmm. You deep, bro.
I mean, it's actually easy. It's not even that deep. It's just very simple.
No, I didn't say it's deep. I said you're deep.
I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, take it. It's meant as one. Tell me, if you can, what you don't have to mention anyone, but like,
Yeah.
what do you think are the problems if with the South African hip hop scene?
The problem with the South African music scene. I mean,
And
I don't think
I only asked that because you just seem to be on your own wave, like completely your own wave. There's nobody on your wave. It's just you.
that's cool. That's actually my mom calling. I need to just tell her I'm doing a podcast.
No sweat. Can we say hello to her?
Hey, mom, I'm gonna call you back now. I'm just
Hi,
doing
Shane's mom.
this interview real quick. Yeah. You always gotta take Mom Dupe's call. Doesn't matter where you are.
Always, bro. Always.
But I don't think there's a problem with the South African music scene. I just think, um, I mean, they're just making it easier for me.
Okay, I'll take it. I mean, I think that I didn't mean it as like
But
an
honestly,
artist bashing thing. I
nah,
wanted to
nah,
know when you see
honestly,
other. Hmm.
mhm.
I was going to
But
say when you see other artists do make the same mistakes over and over again. What kind of mistakes do you think that young artists or even established artists um, that you've learned from? You know,
yeah.
I'm trying to turn it into a positive. It's quite hard to turn that
I
question
mean,
into a
I
positive.
mean, I feel like kind of celebrating. I mean, it's always good to celebrate your wins, whether big or small. But I feel like a lot of South African musicians just, conquer South Africa and then feel like they're the biggest in the world. But the world is much bigger than that. So I think it's just always wanting to be, more, being Trevor Noah, being Black Coffee level, like blowing it out the park, not just
Mm.
being content with, being, you know, just big in South Africa. I feel like a lot of South African hip hop acts need to realize that Africa is the source for a lot. So the world needs more of that real stuff. So don't get caught in the trap of just conquering one place and thinking that's it. That's the only thing I see. I feel
It's
like
so true,
mm,
and I've seen it for years as well. And it's not only South Africa; it's like Cape Town. Like Cape Town artists get big in Cape Town. All 76 people like them, and they
yeah,
think that they are megastars for
that's
conquering
what
Cape Town.
that's
And
what
you're
I'm
right.
saying.
It's not even South. Like there's Nigeria around the corner. There's
That's what
Kenya
I'm
and Ghana.
saying.
There's a whole industry around the corner. Yeah.
Nigeria is huge, and that's why I made the effort to collaborate. It also happened organically. I did rapid fire with Cruel Santino, Amire. They from well, Santi's from Nigeria, and he managed to take me out on tour in London. And when I got there, I was like, "Yo, I'm from South Africa. You from Nigeria, but we're in London, and they singing our stuff back to us." You know what I mean? Which is like extraordinary. So I think it's just about just wanting more, that Mamba mentality, you know.
Favorite hip hop artist in South Africa?
Oh, that's easy, me.
Not the best. Your favorite.
Me, John, what you say?
Uh,
But yeah, what we saying?
is you know okay? So favorite in Africa.
Favorite in Africa? Still me, John. You're making this difficult, but
Okay,
favorite in Africa, I definitely
second
love.
second
Okay,
favorite.
I would say Santi. I love Santi. You should check
Cool.
him out if you don't know Santi. I love Burner Boy. Burner's dope. Wizkid is crazy. Even shout out Focalistic. Focalistic's been going crazy, and he's also from SA. So shout out Foca. He's been going crazy. Seeing Virgil playing his stuff, which is pushing the boundary for us. Nasty C is also dope. Yeah.
Dream collaboration.
Oh, that's easy. Dream collaboration would be
Don't say you.
no, but well, my dream collaboration though.
Yeah.
Shane Eagle. I have like two. I have like three, but I would say Shane. Well, me featuring Miss Lauren Hill and Erica Badu on one song.
Oh, on one
That-
song.
Bro, that would be hectic.
Aye.
Then I would also like to work with Sampha. He's extraordinary, and yeah, but like Lauren Hill, definitely, and Erica Badu. That's like one of my dream collaborations off top, you know.
Nice. Okay, 3 more questions. What do you do for fun?
What I do for fun, I mean, I like doing weird stuff like taking walks and smelling the grass and staring at the sun. That stuff's fun to me. You know what I mean? Like just being outdoors. That stuff's fun. But yeah, I think yeah. I mean, I do that for fun.
Are there any do you watch any TV shows or podcasts or
Yeah, I do watch podcasts. I do watch TV shows. I mean, I check out your podcast, John. Then I like Joe
only because
Rogan.
you had to make sure that it was safe,
Come on, I
right?
had to do my homework, bro. Come on, and
This
and don't go
podcast,
and don't go entitled this. Shane Eagle goes crazy, only feels himself in the head. Say Shane speaks about his dream collaboration with Miss Lauren Hill, man. But I also like what TV show I've been watching. I've been watching Sexy Beasts on Netflix. I don't know if you've
cool,
seen that. You should check it out.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, what is if you could think about the biggest obstacle that you have had to overcome in your life, whether it was music related or not, that you think turned you into the person you are, like gave you the principles to, or the courage, or drove you to the path that you're on?
Yeah. I feel like that would be losing my father, my when he passed like some time ago, not too long ago. So I feel like that kind of made me realize what's important and kind of made me want to take it all the way and kind of make him
Mm.
proud in the end, because there's no real way to deal with that. Like you kind of just have to keep it
you
pushing. But I
you
would
never
say
get over it, bro.
yeah, so
Never.
him being an angel and hovering above me and being by my side has definitely been like that was the biggest obstacle because he was my best friend. So that definitely, but at the same time, it also made me stronger. It also made me, there's nothing that could stop me. You know what I mean? From this point on, just to kind of carry out his legacy through me.
Did he pass suddenly, or was he ill?
Nah, it was just more, he was a lot older than a lot of other parents, well, kids my age, parents. Like he was a lot older, so I knew his time that we had spent would be, a little bit more limited than what other kids are blessed to have. But for me, it was perfect because I lived in the moment and I treasured, every piece
Mm.
of it. So that was fire, and that's been inspired me to make Dark Moonflower that premiered in New York, and like he's just a forever endless source of inspiration for me. So that's definitely for
Eh,
sure.
he was Irish, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the Irish are the best. They're the best people. They just
unmatched,
are
man.
the best.
Yeah, nah, unmatched. That's what I'm saying. It's like it was more of a celebration than being sad. You know what I mean? Like that. That's how the Irish are. Like can't cry over that. Like just carry on. Have a pint of Guinness and you'll be cool, man. You know
Was
what I
he? Did
mean?
he like his whiskey?
For sure, for sure, for sure. You know what I mean?
Cheers to
But
your dad, bro.
cheers,
Cheers to
cheers
your
to
old
that.
man.
Appreciate that, man. Cheers to that. If I had some scotch on me, I would definitely jump in. Just got that orange juice on deck. He would be proud though.
Well, peace and love there, man. I mean, shit. He sounds like a hell of a dude.
For sure. Nah, for sure. He would have messed with you.
Okay, last question, then I'll let you be, and you can have your life back until further notice.
That's all good. I appreciate the conversation, man. It's real fire.
Um, now that you get the vibe of, I mean, I know you've listened to every episode and you know that this is the fucking dopest podcast in the world because it really is. It
Oh, you
fucking is.
got for sure, man.
If you could recommend someone you think has great stories that would be a great guest, who would it be?
Um,
It doesn't have to be well known. I mean, it can be a star, it can be a hip hop person, can be from anywhere. Anything you think would kill in this space.
let's see. I want to give you a good one. I don't just want to send you the wrong person. You know what I mean?
Local, international, anyone you can point me in the direction to invite.
I'll text you. I'll text you as soon as we get off this, and I'll tell you like who'll be. I'm gonna send you the perfect guest.
You
Trust
can't tell me. It's
me.
part of the interviews that you tell me, so that
Part of the
people
interviews that I tell you.
can.
Well, I want to think about it because I don't want to just send you some boring person. You're like, oh, Shane thinks this person's cool. What's going on? But I would say who do you think could slap on this podcast though? Oh, word. Maybe if
Ying,
you,
you're asking the yang. You're
I'm
asking your
asking
yang.
you, yeah, my yang. Now she said Loot. If you could get Loot on here, he's signed to Dreamville, so maybe I could plug you over there. He's crazy.
Is he an American?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean,
I'll see if I can set you up with Slum County and plug you up. He'll be super cool.
that would be phenomenal.
It's not that then Youngster for sure.
I've been trying to get Youngster. I actually do want to get him.
Say
I'm
less.
gonna get him.
I'll link you. I'll link you with him for sure. He'll be cool.
Shane, thank you so much for your time. I've loved chat. I've been wanting to speak to you for the longest time. You don't disappoint. I just love the path you're on, and to sort of hear it from you and see it in your eyes is really cool and inspiring. So thank you.
I appreciate that, John. Thank you for having me, bro. It's all love.
To your pops.
Hey, for sure.
To both our pops, man.
To both. God bless on that, bro. For sure.
Oh yeah.